Let's make a super easy chicken thigh recipe.
I was on my way to
So
bed.
to start, I'm going to
No
pour some milk onto my chicken here. Here I've got about 10 pounds of milk.
Pounds?
And after our milk is added, I'm going to be adding some water on top, about 0.35 pounds of water. That's room temperature.
Pounds, not ounces?
And now we're going to season everything. So here I've got half a teaspoon of pepper.
Half?
I have 1 teaspoon of salt
they
here.
Look like tablespoons.
And once I've added my salt and pepper, I'm going to use a spoon just to mix everything as well as possible. Now that our seasonings are added, we're going to turn on our heat and we're going to cook this for 20 minutes until our milk starts to evaporate a little bit.
So you're making cheesy chicken?
All right, so to continue, we're going to prepare some pasta. So here I'm adding about 3.5 ounces of flour and about 3.5 ounces of breadcrumbs. I'm going to add that as well. 1 teaspoon of saffron.
That's curry.
1 teaspoon of paprika.
That might be too much.
I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of salt.
That's tablespoons, heifer.
Here I've got a teaspoon of black pepper and a teaspoon of oregano.
Okay, that's
so now that I've got all of these seasonings, I'm going to mix them really, really well.
Pasta.
This is such a good combination of ingredients. It's going to make our chicken so tasty.
Saffron is red and stringy, by the way.
This is a really good mixture. I definitely recommend trying this at home.
I don't know who's doing the commentary.
And it's pretty easy to come together.
But that's heifer getting on my nerve.
Okay, now that we've got all of our seasonings mixed together with our flour and our breadcrumbs, we're going to set this aside and we're going to wait for our chicken to cook. Okay, so in another pan here, I'm going to be adding 2 whole eggs, 1 and 2. Try and use large eggs for this recipe if you can get them. By the way,
I saw the
All right, and here I'm adding milk, about a quarter of a pound of milk.
Marinate.
And in this mixture, we're going to use to help make our chicken thighs.
Instead of water, to make a brine.
All right, let's whisk this up until it's all nice and incorporated.
By the way.
We want the eggs and the milk to be one consistency.
That you make it.
If you want to use a whisk for this step, you totally can. I'm just using a fork, but if you want to use a whisk, you can go ahead and do that.
She can't cook.
I just find it more practical to use a fork.
I don't know what it is about y'all and chicken.
All right, now this is all whisked together, looking excellent. Our chicken is ready. So now that our chicken is starting to cook, we're going to remove it from the pan. Look at that. Look how delicious that looks.
That don't look like
I'm going to be adding it to a plate here. Very carefully, because this is really, really hot.
No shit.
All right, we want this to cool so we can start our breading process.
Who is this woman?
Okay, so first we're going to take our chicken and we're going to add it into our egg mixture that we just made.
I thought you was making
pasta. Now, be very patient with this process. Make sure you take the time because this is the most important part of the recipe. Okay, we've just dipped it in egg and now we're going to be dipping it into our seasoned breadcrumb and flour mixture. Now, try not to leave too much flour on this chicken. We want to make sure it's evenly incorporated, but not caked on with a ton of flour. So give it a little tap to remove some of that. We're going to place it back on our plate, and we're going to repeat with the rest of our chicken. All right, now we're going to move over here, a pan with some hot oil. I'm going to add our chicken into the hot oil to fry.
Where's the pasta?
We're going to cook this until it's a nice, deep, golden brown color, and look how crispy this is. This is the result after frying it. Now, these are going to be really, really hot, so be super careful. All right, so I let them cool. I'm going to cut into them so you can see just how moist and delicious this chicken is. Oh, look at that. It's perfect.
Lies!